Okay, folks, it's Mike's Not So Instant Movie Reviews. I want to do a double header here. Robin Wright in Land and Frances McDormand in Nomadland. Sometimes you see this in Hollywood, that a couple of films come out with similar themes or similar titles. The titles of this one are pretty similar, Nomadland and Land. And the other issue is that both films star a strong female protagonist, central character, if you would. And for you film screenwriting people, you can look up the difference between a central character and a protagonist. Usually it's the same thing. I'd say it's the same thing in these films. Let's start with Land. Robin Wright, great actress. I mean, we all remember and love her from Princess Bride. And actually, I was not a big fan of Jenny from the Forrest Gump film. There's issues about the Jenny character. I felt that she took advantage of poor Forrest and really wasn't there for him and so forth. And I never liked Jenny. But I'm getting text, which is why I'm being annoyed. People are texting me there. I mean, look, you can tell me your comment, I believe you. You don't have to give me the exact moment that you're arriving. I trust you, friend. The next situation is, I like the movie Land. It's about a woman who's had some loss, and she decides to kind of make a new home for herself, a cabin in the middle of a mountain. It's unclear if she's suicidal. That's kind of up to your interpretation. Spoilers, I guess. She meets some friends along the way, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Once again, another movie that most movies, even movies that aren't big on cinematography, are better if you see them in the theater, in the big screen. This one really profits from a big screen because of the nature of the cinematography, the landscapes, and so forth. So I did like Land. I did enjoy it. Let's move on to Nomadland. The movie was good. I saw it. Credit to Johnny Z, one of my Twitter buddies there, and I appreciate Johnny bringing this film to my attention. I was aware of it, but it wasn't, on the top of my hit list. But today there was an opportunity, and I kind of get the vibe of how these movies work. Some movies are going to be in the theater for months, and others, like the movie Freaky, is still in theaters down here in Florida. But with something like Nomadland, I knew that if I didn't see it today, there would be a chance I wouldn't see it in the theater. Once again, a movie that's best experienced in the theater, and I do feel like this is a movie that I wouldn't mind seeing a second time. I did have some interruptions. I was very thirsty. I got into the theater. There was a long line. I wasn't for the concessions. I wasn't familiar with this theater. I did an eyeball test, and it seemed like it would be a wait to get a beverage. And I hate missing the beginning of the movie. I see so many movies, and as you know, I write screenplays myself, and I make my own films, that I'm not worried about missing part deep into the movie. Like if I miss 10 minutes, 45 minutes into the movie, or 5 minutes or whatever, I'm okay with it, but I hate missing the opening scene. With Nomadland, you really have to see the opening moment because there's a big important text on screen that kind of gives you some exposition, some backstory, and apparently this movie based on true current events, not events of people and housing crisis, fallout, and people losing jobs, and a lot of people are taking to RV living. I was into studying this stuff, as a matter of fact. Johnny and everyone else who's watching, a couple of years ago, I thought about possibly doing the RV living. Ultimately decided against it, just not for me, but I do respect it. It seems tough, to be honest with you. It's a tough way to live, but I do respect those people. And I think what I like about this movie, without being preachy, they do kind of get into the mindset of these folks, these nomads, the people that do RV living, especially the single people, whatever stage of life they're in. They're kind of fucked up in some ways, and I feel like I'm halfway there. Like they're close to people, but they're not close to people. They don't want to get too close to people. There's kind of an intimate scene in this movie with Frances McDormand's character and her sister, woman playing her younger sister. So it's a great movie. I mean, Frances McDormand, like I said 3 years ago, I knew that she was going to win an Oscar for Three Billboards Over. I can never remember the fucking title, but the Three Billboards movie. And I did have a scene with Frances, as a matter of fact, in the Olive Kitteridge project on HBO. You can see me playing the brother-in-law of the dead guy, I guess. There's a funeral, there's a death, a hunting accident, and I'm at the funeral and I'm all upset. So, and Frances and Richard Jenkins were in that scene. So, I've always had a lot of respect for Frances McDormand, before working with her, after working with her. She's a great actress. I mean, I don't know if she really pretty much is as good as Meryl Streep. I mean, everyone puts Meryl, who I've also worked with in Hope Springs, on a pedestal. But I would say that Frances McDormand is right up there with her. And this is a great role for her. And then there seemed to be in this film, I'll show you that nice view, a lot of people that weren't professional actors. I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking that this was a lot of the people in the community of RV people, real people. Probably people you could go on YouTube and find a million videos of. The guy that they were all kind of citing as the Santa Claus of RV living, I'm assuming that's a real guy. I can't remember from my research a couple of years ago if I watched videos of his, but he did well. And I thought it was a cool movie, so good credit to Johnny Z. Johnny Z, Kevin Castle, and I were having a little debate about the merits of Barry Windham and Arn Anderson for wrestling fans. I'll have to chime in with another video. I do want to keep this video succinct and separate, but it's Mike Messier. It's a Saturday night here in Florida. I do have my mask. You know, I feel like I know where I'm at. It's a non-masker environment about to enter, but I probably just wear my mask anyway. And hope everyone's doing well out there. And you know, if you're in the snow or the ice or the fallout, or if that ice is starting to melt, you know, you have to do what's best for you. But I just couldn't stand being in the Northeast anymore. People have been asking me, Mike, do you miss it? I really don't. I don't miss the ice. I miss some of the people, the friends and so forth. I thought I'd be able to visit people, but it's okay. There's phone calls, there's Zooms and so forth. And this time, kind of like those characters in both Land and Nomadland, I feel like I'm getting more in touch with my own self. So Mike Messier, MikeMessier.com, more stuff. The best of the Mike Messier Show pilots are coming out by popular demand. Watching some of those, some of the humor that we did even 10 years ago feels a little dated now. Was a woman who just was a great character by Bonnie Griffin, as a woman. But I don't know if some of those jokes would fly today. Just kind of fun, but more so on my characters and as myself. But you know, good stuff. Small shtick. Leave a comment. Carl, I know you're out there, buddy. You want to do that vampire movie video? We'll get onto that soon. MikeMessier.com.